Hey there. On today's episode of 30 Plus Click, we're going to be discussing a subject that hits home for many of us, and that is dealing with fake friends. If you've ever found yourself in a situation where you're feeling betrayed, or you felt betrayed, or you felt used, or downright underappreciated in your friendship, well, stick around because we're going to be uncovering the emotions, the trauma, and putting together steps that you can use in setting up boundaries to protect your peace in typical 30 plus quick fashion. But if you haven't seen my face before and don't know what we're about, hey, guys. Welcome back to another episode of 30 Plus Click with Max and Yo-Yo. I'm Max and she's Yo-Yo. And on this channel, we discuss content around lifestyle, love, relationships, career, all of which is meant to help you level up in life. And if that is something that you are interested in, please stick around, be our friend, be our homie, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and let's get right into it. When we started discussing the subject of fake friends, and we started conceptualizing the idea of talking about this topic, one of the first things that came to mind was a quote, Yo-Yo, that I saw on Twitter. This might either be earlier this year or a few years ago, and the quote stated, "May we not be intentional with people who are strategic with us." And I know that the person who posted this quote at the time was framing this in the context of a romantic relationship. But friendship is part of a relationship. And that is why I feel like this quote, "May we not be intentional with people who are strategic with us," best summarize what a fake friend is. A fake friend, in my definition, can be anybody who is in it with you to get something out of you. Now, that is a one dimensional definition of a fake friend. It could also be somebody who is incapable of being happy for you in your successes. They're very good friends when things are going wrong with you. But when that moment starts to come together where you are leveling up and you are getting to that next stage, they're not capable of being there. Why? Because secretly in their heart, they are not happy to see you rise. Yo, I don't know if this resonates with you.
Absolutely. So when it comes to having fake friends, well, they are everywhere and we always have them in our circle. But one thing I would like us to take 1 minute to do is to define friendship. Because, it's just easy to say, oh, I met this person, and in the next 2, 3 weeks, oh, my friend, like seriously, I'm a victim of that. Because
Mm-hmm.
I meet you, I just like you, and tomorrow I'm telling another person, oh, I met a new person and is now my friend. So, what is friendship? At what point would you be able to say that this person is your friend? I don't think it's a thing of time. It can be 1 year. You might have known this person for 10 years, for 5 years, for 2 days. But is that really a friend? At what point will you be able to say and test your friendship? And also, at what point will you be able to look back to say, oh, thank God I didn't get this person so close to my heart? Or thank God this person is not my friend? Or thank God I was able to know that this is a true friend. So these are common things that would also help us to define this context of our conversation, Max.
I love it. Defining what a friend is can allow you to understand who a fake friend is. Now, one of the things I know about fake friendship is that they're very difficult to uncover. You could go years with someone who secretly hates you in your heart, and you would never really know that they are a fake friend or they hate you because why? They show up for you when things are going wrong. They're very good friends. And of course, they've mastered the act of putting on a mirage for you in a way that it seems like they're the best. Meanwhile, when you stumble, when you fall, they're right there secretly giggling in their heart, like so excited. And so, right now, in this step of our conversation, we need to take time to uncover what are some of those red flags that would help you to not waste 10 years, 15 years being in a friendship with someone that secretly hates you. What are some of the signs that, could be this person might be a fake friend, or even you could be a fake friend? Who knows,
Yeah.
sister? And so the first thing that comes to mind for me is gossiping. If your friend is comfortable being in a situation where you're being gossiped and is contributing to that gossip, that person is not your friend. They secretly hate you. So my friend has a friend, and this friend has now become part of our circle. And so my friend and her friend ends up having like a a breakup of some sort. They started having issues. This friend of hers goes round to all of our other friends talking about, things that she did. They basically gossip, and for some time the gossip tends to get back to her. Now, when my friend asked me, like, he's never talked to you about these things. And I said, because there is no room. Like, you should know that you are not allowed to gossip, my friend, with me. And you should be afraid to bring such gossip to me, because that is something I will never condone. And that friend who fell out with my friend understood that very well. And he was never bringing it to my space because shut down immediately. It's never going anywhere. So if you find that a friend of yours is comfortable kicking with people who are gossiping with you and also contributing to it, you know, watch out for that person. That person might be a fake friend. And even if they come back and tell you what other people are saying about you, remember to ask them, but what did you say? Because that's what matters, not what other people were saying when they were there talking shit about you. What did you, as my friend, say? If that person cannot provide a fitting response, watch out. Yo yo.
Fake friend. Another point, I'm somebody that invests in my friends. And so when I'm not getting that vibes of investment, then I know that maybe this person is just here for what he or she can get. Investment is not money. Investment is time. Investment is empathy. Investment is what can I do to help you? What value can I add to your life? So when you're just here as a friend, you're just there to just suck in, oh, I can benefit this from this person. I can get information from this person. This person can help me. And just, in fact, right now, just pause. Just bring to your mind, your memory, your friends. When was the last time you invested in that friendship? So when was the last time you went out of your way just to be very intentional with that person and not strategic, like we introduced this episode? So if you're not getting that vibes, you're not investing in that relationship, you're not investing in that friendship, just know that it's either you're the fake friend or you have a fake friend around you.
Oh, facts, facts, and that is facts. Listen, because what you want is to have a symbiotic relationship. I hope I have not mixed up my biology here. You don't want a
Correct.
parasitic relationship. You want to give and take. You want a relationship that allows you guys to level up. And speaking of leveling up, if you've watched this episode up until this point, thank you so much for
Level
sticking
up.
with us so far. Please consider liking this video and sharing it with people in your circle who would benefit from it. Remember to hit that subscribe button because that would help us level up and show you're not a fake friend, okay? Thank you. Now back to the video. Another test of what, or another thing that you should watch out for, in my opinion, again, these are from a common sense perspective, is a friend who is always dishonest. Like, I believe that we're adults. Like, if your friend, out of every 5 things that your friend is telling you, you cannot trust three. Ha.
Wrong.
Like, if you have a friend that truth is chasing her, but she's faster. Voila. Like, if you have a friend that wisdom and lies are not cannot cohabit in her.
Wrong.
Like, the lies are taking all the space. Ah, if you have a friend that if she's talking, you are like, let me fact check her. You have to fact check your friend.
Hmm.
You know, because why? I don't think that as adults there's any reason to be dishonest with each other, especially for small things. I'm someone that hates lies, like dishonesty is very silly, it's not necessary, especially as adults. So when someone is constantly lying, and again, I understand In fact, I want to say I understand white lies, but I also don't want to at the same time, because what's the problem? I'm not gonna beat you up. We're adults. Let it be honest, and let that be that on that, right? So if you find that your friend is always telling lies or doing something shady, that's just all different kinds of shade. Listen, there's a saying that we used to have, or we used to say when we were kids, which is you wanna eat with your enemy with a long spoon, to keep a safe distance. I'm just going to leave that on that, and I'm going to pass it over to Yo-Yo for the final red flag that we're going to be dropping on this episode. And if you've been enjoying this so far, let us know if this is a topic that you want us to continue discussing in the comment section, because trust me, there are more than 4 red flags to fake friends, and we can do another video about it. But Yo-Yo, take it away.
Right. There's one friendship that I really admire from the Bible. Is Jonathan and David. Jonathan was always looking out for David. When even the father of Jonathan wanted to hurt or kill David, he had to give him the strategy to avoid that death. Are you in the middle of or in a circle of friends that they're not watching your back? They will just allow you fall into the wrong pothole. And they don't even for once pause to give it a very genuine feedback. They can't look at you into your eyes and tell you that, girl, you are wrong. I know you're my friend, but no, this one is not right. And this is December, the last month of the year. You want to evaluate your relationship, your friendship, your acquaintances that have come across to you from January to this point. Look at them and look at it critically. What value are you bringing to that friendship, and what value have they brought to your life? If no value, it's just okay to just downgrade that friendship. Just reduce the number of time you spend with them. Just reduce the number of things you share with them. They must not know everything that happens to you. Just keep them at that level. That way, it would be just very fair for both of you. If at the end of this year, you realize that you've been surrounded by people that really did not give you the feedback and you trusted them with your heart, you really care about them, you love them, and they cannot look at you at your eyes and tell you that, girl, you made a mistake. Oh, girl, you're doing it wrongly. I think it's high time for you to pause and evaluate that friendship and relationship, Max.
Oh, that is so wonderful. And I'm glad that you talked about that and pausing, because that brings us to our next segment of this episode, which is how to cope and how to create healthy boundaries that would ensure that you keep your peace. The first thing I want to mention is, if you've taken the steps like Yo-Yo has just said, to evaluate your friendships, and you've noticed that maybe you have a fake friend in your midst, I want you to not internalize what is going on with them. Fake friends are often a reflection of them, not you. Their attitude towards you is not a reflection of who you are, but more of who they are. So don't, I know that sometimes as people we have the tendencies to internalize things and maybe like, oh, maybe I did this, maybe I'm that. It's not you, it's them. And I promise it's really them this time. You probably heard that in a breakup before, which, by the way, we have a good playlist for that. Check that out. But really, this time is them. And so now we need to have conversations about how you can, maintain your peace, create boundaries. Now that we know that it's not you, it's them. The next thing for you now is to develop healthy coping strategies. Listen, we always talk about cutting people off. Is that something that you can stomach? Is that something that will help you feel better? Is the person that is your fake friend or your friend that's always talking to you about things that you cannot do, things that you will never achieve, or subtly making you feel less of yourself? Is that the kind of energy that you need in your life? If that's not the kind of energy that you need in your life, well, then you probably need to surround yourself with energy of people who continue to big you up, to make sure that you are able to achieve your destiny or your goal or your vision. So you need to be with people of like minds. So my first thought is, extricate yourself from that situation. Remove yourself. Find your community. It's hard, yes, but is it worth it in the end? Oh, yes. To be with people who see you and love you genuinely, girl or guy, please.
Hmm. It's so interesting to know that sometimes you really, sometimes really, the only option left is to walk away. Because if you don't walk away, You would entertain grudge. You would kind of struggle with malice. You would kind of struggle with hatred. And is it worth it? Malice, hatred, grudge in your heart. And sometimes it exposes you to gossip because you want to talk about it to someone else. And when you get to that point where you really want to express yourself in a way that it really hurts you, the probability that you would have salt, it's very high. And so to avoid gossip, to avoid malice, to avoid hatred, the best bet is to downgrade that relationship. Well, if you don't want to cut off, that's okay. But if you can cut off, that's perfect. But if not, just downgrade it. Rather than spending 1 hour on the phone with that person or 1 hour physically with that person, take it down. What's up? What can I do for you? Is there anything I can help you with? If no, that's it. So that is one coping strategy.
I think the other thing that I'm going to say is I always love the opportunity to talk things out. Now I know I went to the end from the beginning. I should have said this earlier, like in terms of talking things out with your friend to be able to air your feelings. But I also in saying this, I also want you to learn that sometimes you can talk all the talk and they might not be able to hear you. In our last episode, we talked about the differences between communication in terms of speaking, hearing in terms of listening, and of course, understanding and comprehending and then being on the same page. And I know that we spoke about that in context of being in a relationship, which if you are, check that out. You want healthy attitude that is going to help your relationship survive. Again, am I shamelessly plugging my stuff? Yes, but if I don't, who will? But my point is, like, in this context as well, you also need to have that conversation if you're able. But also, I also want you to have that conversation knowing that you might not get the answer that you're looking for or the change that you're looking for. And that you should be able to come to the realization that this friendship might need to end. And so, if you're happy or okay with that conversation and realization, sometimes having conversations with people is more about you getting it off your chest so that you can walk away rather than you having expectation of a different attitude from them. Because in we used to have a saying, and it sounds better in my language, but I'm gonna try and say it in English, which is they don't used to learn left hand in old age, which means it's very difficult for people to change learned habits. Now, is that does that mean that that is impossible? No. But is it rare? Yes. So when you go into conversations, do so knowing you might not get the change that you want, but at least you've edged your feeling and also your heart. And also know, be ready to take that next step, which might mean, like you said, downgrading the relationship or cutting it off. But if you're currently watching us till this point, which I hope you are, thank you so much for watching. Can you give us a comment in the comment section? Tell us about a time you had to deal with fake friendships and what were some of the things that, stuck out for you, like, hey, this person is not it, and how were you able to manage that situation? We want to hear from you and we will be reading everything in the comment section. And I'm going to send it over to Yo-Yo to close it out for us right now.
All right. So, one strategy I would like to share is time. Before you bring people into your space as friends, give them time. Do that check of value, do that check of personality. I know that sanguine by temperament, they like happy people. And once you make them happy, in fact, you're not just their friend, you're now their sisters. But give it time. Give it time, right? Before you bring them into your world, into your life, just give it time. Just step a little bit backwards to see them for who they are and just check them out. Because friendship, like the Bible says, there are friends that stick closer than brothers or closer than sisters. And so there is these emotions, there is this purity that comes with friendship, and it's just mutual. So before you bring them into your heart and it causes a little bit of heartbreak, just give them time. And so that you can know them, you can learn them, and can see if both of you fit. And if you're watching that content to this time, we started this channel since around February, and here you are. We are the 12th month of this year and you've been consistent with almost all our episodes, I know that you have checked us out and you guys realize that you really trust our content. You've seen our consistency and the values that we stand for. And I know that there are people around your circle that might just need one of our episodes. not check it out as well. Copy that link and share with somebody, or do well to share on your Facebook page, or do well to put it on your Twitter or your Instagram, or do well copy it and put it on that your old school WhatsApp group. One person might learn from this. And so thank you so much for showing us so much love. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for viewing our channel. Thank you for sharing. We really love you. And we want you to know that we're your virtual friends. And so feel free to leave us a comment. We would read it. And also feel free to share your personal stories to us on our email. We would always read it. And if you want us to talk about it anonymously, be sure that we'll be able to do justice to that. And I hope you're having a good year in 2024. Enjoy your December and make sure your 2024 ends well. Take care and with love from 30 Plus Click community, and bye.